India 2-0 up in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Australia did not turn up, but we did. We did. Joydeep Mukherjee finishing his Ranji Trophy commentary, disappointed there, and he said, "Look, I have to come and join the show because I need to get my mind off the Bengal defeat." So did Devashish Sen, who rushed here to the studio from the Eden Gardens, joining us from South Africa, Shubhan Chakraborty, and will join us from Delhi, from the Arun Jaitley Stadium, Atrya Mukhopadhyay, who's actually recording his post-match piece. Joining the first, Australia just did not turn up. 60 for 1 and 113 all out.
Yeah, it's just, if you don't have the skill set, I said the same thing after the first test match. We're sitting at this in the same place. If you go to a physics exam and get questions are given in physics, and if you write chemistry answers, both are science. It's not going to work. You will play 50 test matches, 50 you will lose if there is no rain delay.
So you mean to say 4-0?
4-0 if they play wickets like this.
Yeah, I mean, Indore is expected to be like this.
Indore, I was there when the semi-final between Bengal and MP was going on, and I saw the pitch on which the Irani Cup was supposed to be played. Now that has been scrapped, and now the test match is happening there. It's going to be a red soil wicket. Indore is one of those squares in India which has black soil and red soil both. It's a bit like some of the restaurants where you can have Chinese or Indian. MP made a mistake, played Bengal on a black soil. We used to black soil. But that match is going to be a red soil. And I saw the pitch, and it won't be much better than the second issue.
So he says you can have Chinese or Indian. Let's have Australian in Indore.
They need to have some spicy food.
No, India will have Australian food in Indore.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But more importantly, Devashish, we were watching the game. 60 for 1 for God's sake. And then the way the dismissals happened, one by one. Steve Smith again trying to sweep Ravichandran Ashwin, who's now gone into his head. Manas Labuschagne ball keeping low. Pat Cummins coming, first ball, Hoik. After a decent 30-run innings in the first innings. Peter Hanscom, edge gone. I mean, Matt Renshaw looked like not even a club level cricketer. 6 balls. I think all 6 were appeals. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Means it goes to prove that they haven't learned from their mistakes in Nagpur. Committing the same mistakes means and they are under psychologically they are done. It's when they see a Jadeja or a Ashwin bowling, they need to come out of the. I have told it before as well. They need to come out of this psychological barrier. Something is working when they see a Ravichandran Ashwin. Take an example of Steve Smith. Perfect example. He has still not learned how to tackle Ravichandran Ashwin. Something is going in his mind.
Before I want to go to Shubhanya.
Just on that, I agree with him a little bit. Ravichandran Ashwin, Smith playing in an Australian wicket is not a problem. It's where the ball is pitching. You say 60 for 1. As the ball gets older, it does more. Okay? So initially, you want to go and play some shots because that's where the runs are. Once the ball gets older, the friction between the ball and the ground is more. It stays on the ground longer. The moment it stays on the ground longer, because of the roughness of the ball, it does more. And every ball doesn't do. Ashwin and Jadeja, the biggest quality is they can bowl that same ball in the same spot with it turning less and not turning. That is something Akshar still doesn't have, which is why he's not as successful as these two.
Shubhan Chakraborty, 2-0, you expected a 3-day game, you had said it on air as well. Clearly after last night you needed a boost because you couldn't have slept after that disappointing Indian women's effort. But this one, the men doing the job.
Absolutely, Boria. The last night was a disappointment. Even today morning for Bengal fans, it was a disappointment the way they lost. Of course, yes, absolutely. I am heartbroken at the moment. I'm still thinking about that Bengal defeat. But yes, I mean the way India bowled Ravindra Jadeja, kudos to him. And as Devashish clearly mentioned that it's in the head, it's going in the head. We have been talking about this since the first test, before the start of the first test, that there has been so much talk about the pitch. The Australian batters have forgotten how to tackle spin. They did it in Pakistan a month back. But they are completely looking like club cricketers now.
That's a good point. If they could do it in Pakistan, why can't they do it here?
It wasn't as bad in Pakistan. And they have the bowlers of this repute, this variety, this range. 1. 2 is that they've got Sriram in their ranks. He would get runs on such wickets. I don't know what his role is. I think with the spinners he works, that's what I have best to my knowledge. But he would get runs in this wicket. He is a champion batter in these wickets. He's grown up in these wickets in Chennai. He'll know how to bat in these wickets. So I don't know why his expertise is not taken. Pakistan wasn't as bad. This is much tougher where the ball is exploding, not every ball, puff of dust. One is the Turner where there's a little bit of help for spinners. This is not that. This is much tougher than that. And India knows what they need to do to get into the Test Championship final. And this is a wicket that will make sure they get into the Test match final. And I'm okay with this because that's what home advantage is all about.
Absolutely. In fact, that last sentence is spot on, that India must do what it takes to get to that final.
Absolutely.
Must prepare what they need to do because this is home advantage. Devajit said,
Absolutely.
Steven Smith, something in his head.
Absolutely, something he needs to come out of that mental block, I would say. And look at this catching as well in this match. He missed some very, very crucial catches, and that was also working on his mind. And believe me, means he's such a great batter. Means obviously, no doubts about his quality, about his class. But on this wicket, you need to think otherwise. Means only playing spin and the reverse sweep cannot give you runs.
Shubhan Chakraborty, Ravindra Jadeja. I mean, look at the impact the man has had since come back in the 2 Test matches. Clearly a contender for the player of the series.
Oh, absolutely! What a rock star player he is. We don't call him Sir Jadeja for no reason, and he showed what he can do. What Indian team was missing for almost an year, and you know the way he has added that variation. Earlier he used to be one trick pony, straighter deliveries. Now he's turning the ball. If he gets a spot, he will continue to pitch that consistently. He's hitting that, and he's a much improved all rounder. Perhaps the best the world cricket world has right now, and absolute rockstar player. And if you look at all the dismissals, Ravindra Jadeja was varying his flight, bowling the quicker one, varying his flight when he wanted to spin the ball, and blockbuster performance, I would say, by Ravindra Jadeja. And he did the same when he returned to Ranji Trophy for Saurashtra as well to play that match to prove his fitness. 7 wickets there as well.
Two things have happened. His batting and international cricket has gone to another level. Number one, in the last couple of years. Started with right ball, taken to red ball also. Second thing is, which he didn't have, his release was always a little bit 11 o'clock, about 10 o'clock release, 11 o'clock release, which is now almost 12 o'clock release. Now, what happens with the release is when you let this ball go, the higher it is, the easier for
Hold on. Shubhan, can you make that sort of screen bigger? Because let the viewers see Joydeep Das sorry, Swapnil,
Swapnil,
Swapnil, can you help us? And let us try and see if we can get a ball.
Otherwise, we'll do it the next time round.
Otherwise, we'll do it the next time round. Let's see if we can get a ball in the studio. Swapnil, if you are there backstage, can you make this screen bigger, please?
Just switch the frames.
You go on, Joydeep.
Yeah. So basically,
there you go.
So basically, this is where you are if it's 12 o'clock release. The moment you bring this hand lower, the chances of the ball spinning becomes less and the angle of the release becomes less. So this is the ball that will more spin less and come in with the arm. Before he only had this. Now what he has done is, he has got both. There we go. In Boria Mojumdar's house, you can find anything from a ball to a Taj Mahal. So now see the seam over here. Once the seam, this is the left arm spinner's grip. Once the seam is over here, now if this goes over here, the seam is going like this and cutting through, falling and going to the arm. So this angle of the seam has changed. Now all I've done is just get the arm here. Now the seam is gone towards slip. And now this will fall on the seam and spin. Very little bit difference with the same hand speed. Impossible to figure out that close to 12 and 11 o'clock. And he only had this before. He didn't have this. Now he will come close to the wicket and bowl this, and he'll go far away from the wicket and bowl this and this. And God save you on these wickets.
Excellent explanation from Joydeep. Fascinating.
Brilliant.
Fascinating. That's what it is. Devashish said, is there a way back for Australia?
Very difficult, because the mental block they are in right now with losing 2 tests and that too in 3 days, 3.5 days.
2.5 days.
3 days. Means how do you come out of this? Means obviously India did it in Australia after getting all out for 36. But then you have the players to tackle. Means you have the fast bowlers to get into success in the Australian conditions. But where does Australia have the spinners? Apart from Lyon, obviously he bowled really well. Then you don't have the other spinners to support him.
India 36 all out was not that we were not up for it. We had a really bad hour on that particular day. It's not that we didn't know how to bat on the wicket. We were terrible for an hour. Here, it's a question of entering an exam and not knowing anything.
Okay. Shubhan Chakraborty, is there a way back for Australia? Any thoughts? I mean, any positive that you're seeing, at least the first innings? Try and get something out of this particular game. Any thoughts that you see Australia? Okay, they've got a bit of a gap, which is good. 7 days now, 8 days now. Mentally, they'll be sort of less scarring going into Indore. Thoughts?
Indore Test, again, if you look at the Ranji Trophy record, out of 55 wickets, 42 or 43 have been picked up by spinners there in Indore. So another 3-day finish, Boryada. I'm predicting 3-day finish, another 3-day finish for Australia. Soumyajit Das Chaudhary has a question when we will get to see a 5-day test. It's not happening in this series at least.
You can see the replay tomorrow day after. That will make it 5 days.
Okay, let me go to Joydeep. You know, when I see that batting card, I see a Steve Smith pedigree, 60 average. I see a Marnus Labuschagne pedigree, 60 average. I see a Travis Head.
I want to see averages on these pitches.
Travis Head, who's had the 2 best years of his life, and all of a sudden, you know, my question is, if you have to be a great of an era, you have to have success in the subcontinent.
In 1999, the Indian team that went to Australia under Sachin's captaincy, I think the best average was Sachin something at 27 or something. All our greats were averaging 19, 21. Is that sort of series? We were completely outplayed in that series. So similar thing is happening. They will have no idea how to play there. This is something you need a 3-month course to know how to play this.
But just to flip it around, 99 we were decimated. 2003 we were a change side. We scored 700. 2007 we competed 200s again from Tendulkar. 2011 we lost it. But again 18-21 we won in Australia, beating Australia. Why is it that India is able to do but Australia can't?
Because we can produce wickets like this and play against fast bowlers which they cannot at home. What preparation have they had to face these conditions? Could they replicate these conditions anywhere in Australia? Is it possible?
But they did prepare a scuffed up wicket in Sydney.
Who was bowling to you?
Yeah, obviously they did not have the.
So then what he said the other day, get from Bangladesh the best 2 left-arm
that's
spinners.
what I was saying a few days back, that you cannot prepare against the likes of Ashwin and Jadeja by playing Mahesh Pithia.
No, you get as close as you can. We also didn't have Magra and Bretley to face when we got ready in 2003 and 2007. But we started playing on green wickets, which is why right now we are decent on abroad. You both travel everywhere. You travel when we used to get annihilated. You travel now where we hold our own. And you travel now when we are dominating. You've seen that upheaval. But in this case, just having a wicket like that and somebody bowling doesn't do the job for you. Get the best in the world, come and bowl to you.
And I would join Boryada, I would like to say that we shouldn't forget the contribution of Akshar Patel with the bat.
Let's go to Shubhan.
Had he not played that knock, means had Australia taken a considerable lead, means they were some odd 147 for 7. And from there on to score 262, means just imagine the batters, means obviously the lower order has been contributing day in and day out for the last 2
I have a question for you. I normally get the question. I have a question for you both. How is Akshar Patel scoring runs in these wickets?
Obviously.
Why? He's used to playing these wickets.
See, that is the question, Shubhan. I mean, the self-belief that Devashish spoke about, that Joydeep just alluded to. 147 for 7 and India gets to 262. Had Australia got a bit of a lead, even a 70-odd lead or a 60-odd lead on a low-scoring game, difficult pitch to bat on, it could have been a different ball game. But all of a sudden, when Akshar Patel started hitting yesterday, Australia seemed lost. Ravichandran Ashwin and Akshar Patel. Thoughts on that? The lower middle order contributing, and here, the moment the top order fails, the lower middle order just falls like a pack of cards. There's nobody who's going to turn up. Shubhan Chakraborty?
I think, Boriada, I mean, in the last couple of years, the drastic improvement in the lower order batting has been the trademark of the Indian batting unit. Of course, there have been some off-form players in the top orders, and time again, the lower order has bailed us out. And Akshar Patel, this Ravindra Jadeja's absence for the last 8-10 months, I think that has helped Akshar Patel gain that confidence because he has been playing as the primary left-arm spin all-rounder in the Indian team. That confidence, that assurity that I'll be in the team no matter what, and why not go there and finish the matches for us. And that's what Akshar Patel did say in the press conference yesterday, I guess, or day before yesterday, where he came out and said that I was so frustrated earlier that I used to get out in 20s and 30s, and now I have taken that responsibility. I've worked hard to finish those matches off for India, and a lot of credit needs to go to Vikram Rathod as well. The way he has worked with the lower order batting, even the tail enders, the likes of Shami, Umesh Yadav. Umesh Yadav has been a decent back, but yes, the drastic improvement. Even Jasprit Bumrah, we saw what he did in Australia. That drastic improvement, of course, a lot of credit goes to the player, but as batting coach Vikram Rathod as well.
Ravichandran Ashwin?
Yeah, just on that, all good teams. Saurashtra here, number 11, Sakaria comes in bats a night watchman in the morning,
Yeah.
plays 16 overs.
Yes.
16 overs, he keeps an outfit for Savada, and Sheldon Jackson says, I get hit on the body and I'll protect you. You come at 12 o'clock and bat and win us the game. So that is where the tailenders come in. Yeah, perfect point. I also feel that over here, Akshar Patel's batting has kept Kuldeep out of the team. That's inevitable.
Absolutely.
Now, sometimes we say, why doesn't Kuldeep play? This is why Kuldeep doesn't play. Because the way Akshar bats. It's not always about your bowling, your value.
The other question, Devashish, is when you look at that Indian lineup and all of a sudden you see a Ravi Ashwin, a Ravindra Jadeja, and Akshar Patel, and given the way they've contributed with the bat, the captain feels that kind of confidence that, oh, hello, even if 4 wickets down, 5 wickets down.
That is what has happened. That is what has happened in recent test matches. Our top order has hardly contributed, barring the exception of Captain Rohit Sharma and to some extent Cheteshwar Pujara. All our top.
It's not easy to get a lot of runs on these wickets also. We are getting it. Yeah. I would love to see our batters play as our bowlers. I would pay to watch that. Double the ticket. Our batting order playing against Ashwin and Jadeja and Akshar. That'll be a great watch because the best bowlers bowling to the best batters. Let's see who wins that one.
Okay, let's go to a critical one. Tonight is the team selection for the Indore test and the Ahmedabad test. And the one question that all of us will be asking is KL Rahul making the team or not? Shubhan Chakraborty, straight question before I go to Joydipda. My point is clear. KL Rahul needs to go back and play the Irani Trophy. KL Rahul has to go back to the domestic circuit, get his mojo back because mentally he's in a spiral at the moment. The more he does this, the more negative space he will get into. Thoughts? Should the selectors take the call, drop KL Rahul, give him a break, not drop, at least give him a break, get him back once he's ready. Thoughts before I go to Joydeep and Devashish?
Drop him straight away. That's what Venkatesh Prasad has been saying on Twitter for a while now. If you look at his threads, he has been absolutely spot on with all the stats, all the numbers. Last 41, 42 innings, he has scored only 3 centuries, and rest of them have been big failures. Not 30s or 40s, but big failures. 15, 20. It just doesn't make the cut in the Indian team. When you have the likes of Shubman Gill waiting in the wings, he has scored tons of runs. He's scoring centuries for fun. So why waste that form? Why not bring in Shubman Gill and play him when he's at the best? And it is detrimental to players morale as well. When you are not in form, you are walking. This could be my last chance. What is happening? I'm not in form. I'm not connecting well. And KL Rahul right now looks down and out completely. I've seen the clips. I've seen some of his dismissals. Absolutely abysmal right now. KL Rahul, as you said, needs to go back to domestic cricket. Maybe lead Karnataka, his state side, in the next domestic season, and then make a comeback. I'm not questioning his place in the ODI format in the middle order, but in Test cricket, in T20 cricket, he just doesn't make the cut right now.
Joydeep, KL Rahul is a friend of mine. And I have known the guy for a long time. And it is about people. My assessment is KL Rahul is one of those guys who's intense. And the more he fails, the more he'll think, and he'll get into that negative spiral even more. He's not one of those, he's not a Rohit Sharma who's like carefree, can absorb pressure in a different manner. KL Rahul is one of those reserved guys who get into a kind of a shell. Your thoughts?
I really feel that there's no harm going a level lower when you're not getting runs. Jerv boycott is to go and tell that I want to play for the second level for Yorkshire this week. Because I'm not batting well. I want to play for the second level because in 3 weeks I have a test match. So this week second level, next week first level, next week first level, the week after, and then the test match. I want to go lower because this game is about confidence, about knowing that I can score runs. So I feel for KL, he should come and play.
This
Look at
mine,
what
this
Mayank has
mine.
done.
The bag is
Mayank
mine.
was,
The bag is
Yeah,
mine.
go. It's good.
Mayank was also going through a lean patch. I saw him in Dilip Trophy, he was struggling. Irani Cup, got hit on the head, didn't come out to bat. 900 runs. Number one in the Ranji Trophy
Yeah,
this
top
season.
scorer.
9 matches, 900 runs.
Yeah.
So I just feel that don't take care when you're getting dropped. We need you to get, and I understand why he's also in the long route because he's very special. What he can do with the cricket batting hand, very few people can do, like Shubman Gill. So people who have this special ability will get a bit of a longer rope. Absolutely okay. with that.
But does he get a longer rope now?
No, now it's down to one level and get runs and come back.
Devashish Sen,
Absolutely.
do you switch KL Rahul for Mayank Agarwal? Mayank has done it in Ranji Trophy. Shubman Gill gets the first opportunity, but as your backup, do you get Mayank Agarwal back and ask KL Rahul to go play domestic cricket?
But will the selectors drop out as vice captain? I really think, because obviously I might sound strange, but then for someone, if you ask me logically, he should be dropped. But whether he will be dropped, that's a big tough call for the selectors, because now you don't have the chairman as well. Ship Sundar Das and
Shubman Chakraborty, that same point. We have seen this
Even
in
if-
2018. You dropped an Ajinkya Rahane when he was vice captain in South Africa.
Yep.
The team management
Yep.
took that call. They went ahead with Rohit Sharma. So why not for KL Rahul? You're actually doing KL Rahul a favor by doing this, by taking this call. Because the more you get him into that negative mind space, the more problematic it might become. Shubman, before I go to Devashish today.
I was just about to cite Ajinkya Rahane's example here, but even if the selectors pick him in the squad, I think it would be the best if Rahul Dravid and the team management make him sit out of the rest of the 2 matches. I mean, you can't waste a talent like Sarfaraz Khan, who is scoring thousands of runs every year. Give him the chance. Make Shubman Gill open. At least put Sarfaraz Khan in that squad. Why not? Why not give him that chance? Give him that maiden call up. You are wasting so many talents in the domestic circuit. Look at Arpit Vasavda, the Saurashtra player. He has been scoring tons of runs. I am pretty sure Joydeep Da has been following Vasavda as well. There are tons of players who are doing well, and it is just unfair on those talent. I am not questioning KL Rahul. He is a supremely talented batter, but form is the primary thing that needs to be considered when picking a player. And even if KL Rahul makes the squad, makes the 15-16 member squad, Rahul Dravid and the team management should drop him for the next test.
For me, KL Rahul comes and plays the Irani Cup, Shubman Gill plays, and anybody else comes. Sarfaraz, if all scoring all the runs in Ranji Trophy, has to go and get runs in India. He's played 7 innings in India, he has got any runs. And you also have to score runs as you go along. I'll name you 10 players who've got tons of runs in India, in foreign Ranji Trophy, tons. And when they went and played rest of India and Dilip Trophy and touring team in my time in India, they failed. Amarjit KP, Bhaskar Pillai, Amar Mazumdar, I could go on and on, but we have a show to do. So it's about the next stage. India, you do it at Ranji Trophy, you do it at India A, which Sarfaraz hasn't now, till now I'm sure he will. Then you play for India. Mayank Agarwal for me, because he's a been there, done it candidate.
Spot on. I totally agree with Jadid Da, because the standard of Ranji Trophy and international cricket is there's a quite a big gap. You just cannot blood in a youngster who has performed over the domestic cricket and suddenly get him in a international match. So obviously he needs to perform in India A. The best thing for Indian cricket is that you have a concept of India A. The India A teams, they travel a lot. So blood him in, get him runs, scoring runs for India A, and then get him in. And as far as this test,
Another name I would add here is, why not Abhimanyu Ishwaran as like for like replacement as an
That is the
opener.
name I'd go for. Although he's had a poor playoffs for Bengal,
Yeah.
300s in 3 matches. That's the one. It is done the next.
he was part of the test squad in Bangladesh.
Yep.
It's not that you get him out of nowhere. He was part of the test squad in Bangladesh.
So all my panelists are unanimous about the fact that KL Rahul needs a break. He needs to go back to the Irani Trophy and then Irani Cup and then make another comeback. Last few minutes on the show. So quick reaction, Saurashtra, you were there commentating, you were there watching. Shubhan was there crying mentally. So in every sense, despite Jaidev being his friend, he's sort of letting Jaydev down. But Devashish, lovely interview with Jaydev Unadkat by Devashish Sen from the Eden Gardens. Watch that on the Red Sports platform. But Bengal did not turn up.
Yeah, I think Saurashtra, the stronger side. It is sound cliched, but the toss had a huge bearing. I think, you don't want a wicket where the toss has a huge bearing. I thought Bengal missed a trick. They should have had a more sporting wicket over 4 days. This did for 45 minutes. I can assure you, if Bengal had won the toss, Bengal would win this game with the attack Bengal has. I just want to go back to the 2019-20 Karnataka game with KL Rahul and Karun Nair and Manish Pandey and the works, everybody here. 4 mm grass, we lost the toss. We lost both our openers for 10, but we won the game. Because for 5 days it seemed. And on the 4th afternoon, we got KL Rahul with seam. You were there. When Manish Pandey, Mukesh Kumar got on board, Karun Nair, second slip, 2-2. That happened. That stopped happening here. Once you are 4 wickets down by 9:28 a.m. in the morning, you can't catch up with these guys. They're too strong. And this team in the quarterfinals, we're talking about, nobody spoke about Pat Boot because he's done nothing in this game. Quarterfinals against Punjab 237 no loss. Just hear me for 2 seconds. 237 no loss day 1, dominating. Second day 437 all out, which means 200 all out. 237 they were. 147 for 8 Saurashtra. This Saurashtra. Parth Boot 100. Consider 118 in a lead. 60 for 4 again. Sheldon Jackson back in the pavilion. Prerak Mankat 70. Parth Boot 80. Chirag Jani 70. Arpit Kosawala 70. They get a lead of 211. Dharminder Jadeja 6. Semi-final.
Jaydev Unadkat hit the nail on the coffin by saying during the post-match press conference, it's about the mindset. Our dressing room was calm. Whereas Bengal dressing room, the captain, he comes out in front of the media before the final and says, we will just brush aside the Saurashtra team. And that sort of statement from the captain, it puts immense pressure. And the selection. Another point which I would like to strive upon is the selector. What was the point of getting in a youngster, Shumanta Gupta, 2 innings, 2 failures, and also Akash Bhatto, someone like a Pradipta Pramanik, spin bowler, Jaditha would be better judge, and then why not get in a Karun Lal who has done well in the last match? They had a 50-run partnership. I don't see.
Shubhain Chakraborty, great day for Jaydev Unadkat. Once again, the recognition for the services that he has rendered to Saurashtra in India. You feel great for such tireless servants in domestic cricket.
Absolutely, Boriyada, if you remember the interviews I did with Jaydev Unadkat and Samarth Vyas as well, and even when you speak to any player, be it Arpit Wasavda, Chetan Sakaria, or any player from that Saurashtra unit, one thing they talk about this Saurashtra unit is that they are not dependent on individuals. They don't go after individual records or runs. What they want to do is make the team win collectively, and that's where Joydeep Das point is very crucial. Parth Boot century, the lower order contributing, they are tireless, they are relentless. With the ball, they are a great unit. Chetan Sakaria, Jaydev Unadkat, like it's a Guru and Shishya partnership, and they are absolutely brilliant. And Saurashtra, now the List A champions, Vijayawada Trophy champions, now the Ranji Trophy champions, and what a team they have built over the last 4-5 years. Now they are reaping the rewards, and I think it's about time that we hold Saurashtra in one of the powerhouses of Indian domestic cricket.
Okay, last closing comments. Joydeep Mukherjee, 7-8 days to Indore. You said similar wickets. I'm still trying to think. This is the #1 test team in the world. There's some fight somewhere, for God's sake.
No.
Put your hand up.
No, I don't think so. I think Ashwin, when he sees these wickets, he has the same feeling as when I see, mutton biryani. With a little bit of onion.
He's just had that by the Eden Gardens because he was so upset and disappointed. So he rushed into the food lounge and palate satisfied.
And then I came over here and saw Bodi have some homemade mutton curry, and I wish I had eaten that.
We didn't. I don't eat mutton, so Joydeep done with that. Anyway, Devashish and I had some prawn curry.
Oh, sorry, my bad. What a drop. Sorry, my bad.
Devashish, Australia. Where does Australia go from here?
I don't know.
India, World Test Championship.
Obviously, the World Test Championship, it will be a different position.
Have we got your visa?
Apply.
Not yet.
Apply.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Obviously, India will definitely be in
No,
that.
if these sort of wickets, you can apply for a visa.
No.
And by the way, South Africa officially out of contention from the World Test Championship is the news that we can give you. Out of contention, South Africa. Devashish, India 1 foot there?
Absolutely 1 foot there. But then talking about the final, it will be a different ball game altogether because Oval, the conditions will be early June, and also the Australian fast bowling attack.
You, before I go to Shubham and close.
The English are our friends. We can tell them to give a Nagpur type wicket. Never know. Good relation.
Saurav Ganguly is still there. Tell him.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be nice.
Shubham Chakraborty, closing comments. Tomorrow
Australia again.
against Ireland. This is your team turning up proper. We've got to get that women's team going as well, not simply the men.
Yep, it is 11 a.m. local. They would be training here from 1:30 local. So looking forward to that training session, and I'll provide all the updates for our viewers as well. But coming to Australia, Boryada, again I'm predicting a 3-day finish at Indore. Maybe this went to the second session. It could very well end in the first session of day 3. Indore pitch, as Joydeep Das said, Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, they are going to run riot there. They are going to run riot. There's the friend waving up, waving
Bengal
while
has a
jogging. But
6-month break. India has an 8-day break. You have a 1-day break. Get cracking.
And get
I don't have.
India t-shirt on tomorrow.
I don't have any break. Today training session, tomorrow match. Again flying back to Cape Town for the semis and finals. So this is how it is. But I'll make sure I come back and take a big treat from all you people out there with some good Bengali cuisine.
Tough life flying into Cape Town. Tough life, huh? Tough life.
Enjoy the waterfront. Enjoy the waterfront.
I'm taking the metro back to the Shupia Park. You're flying to Cape Town. Tough life for you. Envy you.
Okay, on that note, great winning effort from India, 61 for 1 Australia, and all of a sudden, by lunch, it was game done. 7 wickets for Ravindra Jadeja. Watch out for the Rev Sports editorial, which will be published in about 10 minutes from now on the match. Watch out for Atra Mukhopadhyay's match review, half an hour from now, then his evening report, and of course, Shubham Chakraborty's regular updates from the India team nets in South Africa. We've reported from all over the world on Not Simply Cricket. Like last night, we celebrated Gayatri Gopichand and Triza Jolly for that amazing win against China. Multiple sport, multiple destinations, one kind of coverage. Passionate, committed, determined. We will give you the best possible. Thank you very much, Joydeep Mukherjee, Devashish Sen, Shubham Chakraborty, and as I said, watch out for Atra Mukhopadhyay's review from the Arun Jaitley Stadium. For now, for the moment,